Bidri art is a form of metalworking from India that hasn't changed in 600 years. The 8-step process involves molten metals, hours of chiseling, and an eye for detail. The secret ingredient? A special soil that can only be found inside a fort in the city of Bidar. But in an industry with already tight profit margins and expensive raw materials, the art form may not be around for much longer.
काम बंद होने का खतरा होता है. काम चलते आ रहा है. आज हमारे हाथ में.
We visited some of the last artisans who still know the craft to see how it's still standing. Bidri art begins with metal casting. An artisan uses a finished piece to make the mold. He piles sand on top and packs it as tightly as possible with the help of his body weight. Now, the mold is ready to cast a new piece. The worker melts pieces of zinc and copper over a small fire. Then he pours the molten metal into the mold. It takes about 5 minutes for the metal to cool and solidify. Then it's time to reveal the final shape.
जैसे माँ पेट में बच्चा है तो पैदा होने के बाद ही मालूम होता है वो लड़की है या लड़का है. तो जब हम मटेरियल जब पेटी के अंदर डालते हैं वो फेल हुआ या पास हुआ वो खोलने के बाद ही मालूम होता है.
Mohammed Ibrahim takes on buffing and polishing, using one of the only pieces of modern equipment in the workshop. Then he covers the piece with a copper sulfate solution. This creates a chalkboard-like surface for the artisans to sketch out a design. They begin to chisel away at the metal, following the sketch. It's the most time-consuming part of the process. Sometimes they spend an entire day chiseling. Next, the artisan hammers a silver or gold wire into the engraving. It's detailed work that takes patience and good eyesight. That's why this glasses salesman comes by the workshop every month.
नहीं लगाया तो आँख में मोतिया पर्दा व्हील भीतरी काम के लिए होना जरूरी है साहब क्योंकि वो बारीक काम है.
Meanwhile, another worker welds the pieces together to form a vase. Then it goes through a few rounds of buffing, filing, and cleaning. Finally, workers boil together water, soil, and aluminum chloride. They soak the piece in the hot mud to give it the signature black color. The wire resists the coloration, so the design stands out against the dark background. The soil used in this process is what makes Bidri art unique.
ये बहुत बड़ी बात है दुनिया में ये किसी भी मिट्टी से ये कलर काला ना होता सिवाय बिदर के किले की मिट्टी से काला होता है.
It comes from a 600-year-old fort, which is just about 3 miles away from Mohammed Salimuddin's workshop. He says a chemical used in the fort's construction gives the soil a special quality.
वो प्रोसेस के चुनने से ही जो ज़मीन पे अफेक्ट होता है मैग्नेटिक अफेक्ट हो जाता है उसके अंदर की मिट्टी से ही ये कलर ब्लैक होता है. तो चोरी छुपी से हमारे कोई एक आधा बंदा जाके तो वो एक बार थैला ला लिए तो 8-10 साल इजीली चलता है.
Mohammed says Bidri artisans have never been stopped by security. But before taking the soil, he checks the quality.
इसलिए टेस्ट करते हैं कि थोड़ी सी खारापना होता है सर. Perfect.
The fort was built by the Bahmani dynasty. They're credited with bringing metalworkers from Iran and popularizing Bidriware between the 14th and 15th centuries. The art flourished through the 1800s, when it was showcased at exhibitions in Europe. But a fall in demand towards the end of the 20th century and the rising cost of silver in the 2000s put a strain on artists' livelihoods.
पहले 400 रुपये को 10 ग्राम सिल्वर मिलता था. अब 750-800 रुपये को 10 ग्राम हो गया.
The pandemic has also raised export costs and kept tourists from visiting Bidar, slashing Mohammed's sales.
2019 में जो सेल हुई थी उसकी 10% भी इस साल सेल नहीं हुई सर. 10% भी नहीं हुई सेल. अब पता नहीं कितने साल लगेंगे हालात सुधरने के लिए इंडस्ट्री के।
Today, Mohammed says there are around 10 workshops in Bidar, but he worries they won't be around for much longer.
अब धीरे धीरे ये क्राफ्ट भी घट रही है, न्यू जनरेशन उससे जुड़ रहा नहीं, तो ये आर्टिजनों की तादाद दिन ब दिन गिरते जा रही है।
Mohammed has managed to stay in business by expanding his market with online sales. He sells pieces at his brick-and-mortar shop too, just a short walk from the artisans' workshops. A vase that takes up to 3 days to make goes for 3,000 rupees, or $41. Mohammed says he purposefully prices his goods to just about break even, to keep turnover high.
ज़्यादा अगर रेट रखे तो बिकने में देरी करता आइटम, काम चलने से मतलब, बस उतनी मार्जिन रखता है।
The pieces that require more time and resources cost more, like this bust. It took 20 days to make, and it's selling for 60,000 rupees, or just over $800. And this plate that took nearly 2 months to make cost 200,000 rupees, or about $3,000. Hardships aside, Mohammed is happy, so long as the whole industry works together.
मैं अपने बिजनेस से सेटिस्फाई हूँ सर, लेकिन मैं चाहता हूँ कि मैं सेटिस्फाई, मैं एक रहने से काम नहीं चलता, पूरी इंडस्ट्री को बिजनेस मिले। नहीं, बिदरी क्राफ्ट में तो कोई कंपटीशन नहीं है सर हमारा, क्योंकि हम जो काम करते हैं पूरे इंडस्ट्री के लोग एक मिलजुल के काम आना चाहते हैं।